Most people assume that screens are the biggest threat to their eyesight. Phones, computers, tablets, televisions, we hear about them all the time. And yes, staring at a screen for hours can leave your eyes feeling dry, tired, or strained, but in many cases, the habits that cause the most concern are not the obvious ones. There are small things people do every day without thinking: rubbing their eyes, wearing the wrong sunglasses, falling asleep in contact lenses, smoking, putting off an eye examination because their vision still seems fine. None of these habits feels especially dangerous in the moment. That is exactly why they are easy to ignore. The problem is that eye damage often develops slowly. You may not notice a major change from one week to the next. Instead, you begin needing more light to read. Headlights seem brighter at night. Small print becomes harder to focus on. Colors may look slightly duller. Your eyes may feel dry more often. Many people simply blame age. Some changes in vision are certainly part of getting older, but not every change should be accepted as inevitable. There are eye problems that can be managed, slowed, or treated much more effectively when they are found early. So today, I want to talk about 5 common habits that may be putting unnecessary stress on your eyes and what you can do about them. Let us begin with something almost everyone does: rubbing your eyes. It usually starts with a small itch. Maybe you're tired. Maybe there is dust in the air. Maybe your eyes feel dry or irritated. You rub them for a few seconds and move on. Doing this gently once in a while is unlikely to cause serious damage. The concern is when rubbing becomes frequent, forceful, or automatic. The front of your eye is covered by a clear structure called the cornea. It helps focus light so you can see clearly. Although the cornea is strong enough to protect the eye, it is still delicate tissue. Repeated pressure can irritate it. In certain people, especially those who already have a vulnerable or unusually shaped cornea, years of aggressive rubbing may contribute to further weakening or distortion. There is also a much simpler problem. Your hands are rarely as clean as you think they are. During the day, you touch your phone, door handles, keyboards, countertops, money, shopping carts, and dozens of other surfaces. When you rub your eyes, you may transfer bacteria, oils, dust, or allergens directly onto the eyelids and the surface of the eye. That can lead to irritation and, in some cases, infection. The risk is even more important if you wear contact lenses, recently had eye surgery, or already have an injury. So when your eyes itch, the better question is not, how can I stop the itching for a few seconds? The better question is, why are my eyes itching in the first place? It may be allergies. It may be dryness. It may be irritation from contact lenses. It may be inflammation around the eyelids. A cool, clean compress may help. Lubricating eye drops may help some people with dryness. But if the itching keeps coming back, or if you have redness, swelling, discharge, pain, or blurred vision, it is worth getting checked. The next habit is something many people only think about in the middle of summer: sunglasses. A good pair of sunglasses is not just a fashion choice. It is eye protection. Ultraviolet radiation affects more than your skin. Your eyes are exposed to it as well, and the effects build over time. Years of UV exposure may contribute to changes in the lens of the eye and may increase the risk of certain age-related eye conditions. The important thing to understand is that darker lenses do not automatically mean better protection. A pair of sunglasses can look dark and still fail to block enough ultraviolet radiation. When buying sunglasses, check the label. Look for 100% UVA and UVB protection, or UV4O protection. That label matters much more than the color of the lens. Larger frames can also be useful because they reduce the amount of light entering from the sides. Wraparound styles offer even more coverage, especially around water, snow, or bright reflective surfaces, and do not assume cloudy weather means there is no UV exposure. Ultraviolet rays can still reach your eyes when the sky is overcast. A wide-brimmed hat can also help, particularly if you spend a lot of time outdoors. This matters for children too. The earlier someone develops the habit of protecting their eyes, the better. UV exposure is cumulative, which means the effects add up over many years. Now let us talk about contact lenses. Contact lenses can be safe and convenient when they are used properly. The trouble usually begins when people become too comfortable with them. Maybe you fall asleep on the couch without taking them out. Maybe you wear daily lenses for an extra day. Maybe you rinse the case with tap water. Maybe you swim without removing them. Each of these choices may seem minor, but they increase the risk of irritation and infection. The cornea does not have its own blood supply. It receives much of its oxygen from the air through the tear film. When a contact lens sits over the cornea, less oxygen reaches the tissue. Modern lenses are designed to allow oxygen through, but the amount is still reduced. When you close your eyes and sleep, oxygen levels fall further. That is why sleeping in contact lenses can leave the cornea stressed and more vulnerable. Some people wake up with only mild dryness or redness. Others develop inflammation or an infection that needs urgent treatment. Water creates another risk. Tap water, swimming pools, lakes, hot tubs, and seawater all contain microorganisms. A contact lens can trap those organisms against the cornea. Most of the time, nothing dramatic happens. But when an infection does occur, it can be serious and difficult to treat. The safest approach is simple. Do not sleep in your lenses unless an eye care professional has specifically prescribed a lens approved for overnight wear. Do not swim or shower in them. Never clean or store them in tap water. Use fresh contact lens solution every time. Do not pour new solution on top of old liquid in the case. Wash and dry your hands before handling your lenses. Replace the storage case regularly. And do not try to stretch a one-day lens into several days simply because it still looks clean. You cannot see bacteria, deposits, or tiny changes in the lens with the naked eye. If you wear contact lenses and suddenly develop pain, redness, discharge, sensitivity to light, or blurred vision, remove the lens and seek professional advice. Do not put it back in and hope the problem disappears. The fourth habit affects far more than the eyes. Smoking. Most people already know what smoking does to the lungs and heart. What receives far less attention is the damage it can cause to the eyes. Your eyes depend on an extremely delicate network of blood vessels. The retina, the optic nerve, and the tissues that support clear vision all need a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients. Smoking exposes those tissues to chemicals that damage blood vessels, increase inflammation, and create oxidative stress over time. Smoking is associated with a higher risk of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration. The macula is the part of the retina responsible for your central detailed vision. You use it when you read, drive, recognize faces, or look directly at an object. When the macula becomes damaged, the center of your vision may become blurred, distorted, or missing. Smoking can also make eye problems more complicated in people with diabetes. Diabetes already places stress on the small blood vessels of the retina. Smoking adds another layer of vascular damage. Even secondhand smoke can irritate the eyes and expose other people in the home to harmful substances. Quitting after many years is not easy, and there is no value in pretending otherwise. But stopping smoking benefits every part of the body, including the eyes. And people do not have to rely on willpower alone. Support from a doctor, pharmacist, counselor, or smoking cessation program can make a real difference. The fifth habit is one of the most common, especially among people who still see well. Waiting too long between eye examinations. Many people think, I can still read, I can still drive, I do not have pain. Why should I see an eye doctor? The answer is that several important eye diseases do not cause obvious symptoms in the beginning. Glaucoma is a good example. It can damage the optic nerve gradually, often affecting side vision first. Because the change happens slowly, many people do not notice it. The brain is also very good at adapting. It fills in missing information, so a person may feel that their vision is normal even when part of it has already changed. Diabetic eye disease can also progress quietly. Age-related macular degeneration may begin with only subtle distortion. Cataracts often develop so slowly that people adjust to dimmer, blurrier vision without realizing how much clarity they have lost. A proper eye examination looks at much more than whether you need glasses. An eye care professional may check eye pressure, the cornea, the lens, the retina, the optic nerve, eye movement, pupil response, and other parts of the visual system. In some cases, the pupils are dilated so the back of the eye can be examined more carefully. How often you need an examination depends on your age, your health, and your risk factors. Someone with diabetes, high blood pressure, a family history of glaucoma, previous eye surgery, an old eye injury, or an existing eye condition may need more frequent checks. The important point is not to wait until vision becomes noticeably worse. By the time some eye diseases produce clear symptoms, part of the damage may already be permanent. There are also certain warning signs that should never be ignored. Sudden loss of vision, a dark curtain or shadow moving across your sight, a sudden increase in flashes or floating spots, severe eye pain, new double vision, marked redness with light sensitivity, sudden distortion of straight lines. These are not symptoms to watch for several days at home. They need prompt medical evaluation. There is one more issue I want to mention because it becomes increasingly common with age: chronic dry eyes. Dry eyes are often treated as a minor annoyance, but for some people, they can seriously affect comfort and vision. Your eyes need a healthy tear film to stay smooth and clear. As we age, the amount or quality of tears may change. Certain medications can make dryness worse. So can air conditioning, indoor heating, prolonged screen use, eyelid problems, contact lenses, and some health conditions. Dry eyes may cause burning, stinging, a gritty feeling, sensitivity to light, or vision that comes and goes. Some people keep reaching for drops that promise to remove redness. Those drops may make the eyes look whiter for a short time, but they do not always solve the underlying problem. Frequent use of some redness relief products can even cause the redness to return. The right treatment depends on the cause. For one person, lubricating drops may be enough. Another person may need warm compresses, eyelid cleaning, changes in medication, treatment for inflammation, or a different type of eye drop. The main message is not complicated. Protecting your eyesight is usually not about one dramatic decision. It is about small choices made consistently. Avoid aggressive eye rubbing. Choose sunglasses that actually block ultraviolet radiation. Use contact lenses exactly as directed. Do not sleep, swim, or shower in them. Seek support if you smoke. And do not wait for obvious symptoms before arranging an eye examination. Your eyesight affects almost every part of daily life. It allows you to read, drive, cook, walk safely, recognize faces, manage medication, enjoy hobbies, and remain independent. That is why protecting your eyes should not be treated as a cosmetic concern. It is part of protecting your quality of life. You do not need to become anxious about every minor sensation, but you should pay attention to changes that persist, worsen, or appear suddenly. Think about your own habits for a moment. Do you rub your eyes often? Do you check the UV label before buying sunglasses? Have you ever fallen asleep in your contact lenses? Has it been several years since your last eye examination? You do not have to change everything in one day. Choose a habit that applies to you most and begin there. Small changes may not feel important today, but over the years, they can help preserve something you use every waking moment: your ability to see the world clearly.